This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring defense attorney, Hidden Killers daily contributor, and host of the Defense Diaries podcast, Bob Motta.
There will be no plea deal for Donna Adelson. That's what we've recently found out. Of course, she being charged in the murder of Dan Markel. That was her former son-in-law, the former husband of her daughter, Wendy Adelson. No charges against Wendy, but Charlie, the brother, he's already been convicted. He's spending the rest of his life in prison, but they think mom is the mastermind behind all of this. Joining me to discuss, Bob Motta, defense attorney, host of the podcast Defense Diaries. Bob, are you surprised there's no plea deal here for Donna Adelson? And what does it mean that there's no plea deal for Donna Adelson?
No, and it means they're going to trial. Next question. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Look, at this point, like, Charlie is adamant about him being innocent about it. He's got his appeal that will be pending. Positionally speaking, in terms of there being potentially 4 family members from that family that are going to be tried, including, Dad and Wendy. I think they're in this together. Yeah. And for her to plead guilty would be an absolute death knell to Charlie's appeal, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how is she pleading guilty saying, yeah, I was the mastermind. I was the puppet master behind this whole thing. And Charlie sitting over here saying I didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. I'm innocent. I think that's the play. I think that she has no choice but to go to trial and make the state prove their case, because I think that, and it's not just for Charlie's case and her own case, but for the rest of the family's cases, potentially moving forward. I think that they feel that they're going to make the state prove it, which they will.
What kind of defense is Donna Adelson going to mount here? I mean, are we going to see something where she ends up throwing her kids under the bus? Like, you're already convicted Charlie. He obviously is the one who did it. It ain't me. I mean, I don't see her doing that. As big of a narcissist as I think she is, I think she protects her little clan there, it seems.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Like, she's not snitching. Yeah. She's not turning state's evidence. I don't know that they came to her. I'm sure they did, with some kind of offer, probably close to, probably a little less than Charlie, since they feel that Charlie was really the one who facilitated the hit with Katie. But, as far as mom, if she was the money source, she's just as on the hook as he is. And in the eyes of the law, they're not going to be treated any differently, no matter what their roles were in the conspiracy to commit murder, So, it's like roles are kind of irrelevant. They're all viewed the same in the eyes of the law. They're all going down for the exact same thing, no matter what their particular part in the play was. So, as far as Wendy goes, though, like, I just think that she was the smartest. Like, my buddy Jay, he's got a YouTube channel. He's obsessing about Wendy, does all these like videos, like how Georgia Kappelman's going to get her. Yeah. And I mean, there's strong circumstantial evidence, but it basically boils down to, she drove by Dan's house, the morning of the shooting. That makes it seem like she had to have known. Going to this liquor store, and she said she was taking a shortcut, and it doesn't appear to be a shortcut. I mean, is that enough to convict her? Is that enough? Because they're going to go by strength of case.
Well, and her kids are in the house, and you see police cars. If you're a parent and you see police cars surrounding a home where your children are supposedly at, wouldn't the first thing you do is slam on the brakes and be running towards that house of what the hell is going on? Not, hey, let's go get some Patron.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the testimony is that they had the tape, the yellow tape, up so far back that she couldn't actually see all the way down the block to the house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, at least that's the way I understood it.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of testimony during the trial that because it was kind of a curving street, and where the cop was testifying that he had the tape, it was too far back. And when it comes to Wendy, it's like the interplay, surrounding the fact that she's testified in multiple cases already on behalf of the state is a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a weird dynamic to know that she still has custody of her kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like why doesn't Ruth Markel have the kids? Like, even if they haven't charged her yet, everyone on the planet feels like she had a hand in it. I mean, like, how can you not? Like you have to believe that she is that I'm talking about, Donna is such a, like, just an overlord of her kids, that, they're still, despite the fact that they're all accomplished dentists, lawyers, like, that she's still running stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that concept is bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Like, grown adult children letting their mother run things to that extent. And, like, I find it hard to believe. Maybe not as much with Charlie, but definitely as to Wendy. I mean, say whatever you want. Like, Wendy's not an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Wendy held up very well on the stand. Do they catch her in little lies? Did she pause? But I don't read into those things like other people are reading into them. I think that she's answering questions carefully because she understands that they're gunning for her. You know what I mean? Like, while I think that she definitely had a hand in it, and I think that, this was a family affair through and through, I just tend to think that she might have been a little too crafty for them to have gotten the evidence they need to get her. That's what I'm saying. Like, they started with Charlie because they felt they had the strongest case with Charlie, and they're next going to Donna because they think that they had the second strongest case as to Donna. And then, of course, the jail calls after Charlie's convicted really helped their case a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, and her trying to go to Vietnam helped the state's case a lot, I mean, it's.
And then there's Harvey as well, who's still there. He's out. He's free. I mean, you have, the spousal thing as well going on, where he would not necessarily have to testify against her. But I do wonder, how would he not have knowledge of what the hell's going on here? Maybe he's not the one that's pulling the strings like Donna. Maybe he's just like, okay, honey, whatever you want. He kind of strikes me as that sort of a character. But still, if you have knowledge of what the hell's going on, somebody's got murdered. You have some culpability there as well if you didn't do anything about it.
I mean, it depends on the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've seen plenty of older couples where, you've got 40, 50 years in. I've seen some of them where they're still madly in love and they're the cutest thing you've ever seen. And I've seen them like my grandmother and my grandfather, who basically loved each other, but went about their way on their own. They did separate things. They weren't necessarily part, slept in different bedrooms when they were, deep into the marriage. It's like, I don't know the inner workings of that family like that. Like, in terms of, we're going to need to see proof.
Yeah.
We're going to need to see text messages. We're going to need to see communications. Obviously there's the whole birthday gift with him. And in George's position is that his gift was that Dan was getting killed and his grandkids were going to live closer to him.
Yeah.
That's her position on it, and which very well could be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a family that you get that vibe that they just, they're the smartest people in the room type thing. They just thought they had this thing all figured out. And, they're still reeling from the fact that they didn't buy their story. But, anytime that you're hiring two separate hitmen and you're going through a third party conduit who you used to date, it's a recipe for disaster.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.